Why the Battle of Fallujah changed urban warfare. Forever war has always been shaped by terrain. Mountains favor the defender. Open deserts reward speed and maneuver. But cities, dense, vertical, crowded with civilians, have consistently punished even the most advanced armies in history. And no modern battle exposed that reality more clearly than the Battle of Fallujah. In 2004, Fallujah became the most intense urban battlefield American forces had faced since Vietnam. What unfolded there didn't just redefine how the U.S. military fought insurgents. It permanently altered doctrine, training, weapon selection, and how modern armies approach urban combat. This wasn't just a battle for a city, it was a battle for the future of warfare. Setting the stage, Fallujah sits just west of Baghdad, a dense Sunni city crisscrossed by narrow streets, concrete homes, mosques, and alleyways. After the fall of Saddam Hussein, it quickly became a stronghold for insurgent groups, foreign fighters, former regime loyalists, and emerging jihadist networks. By early 2004, Fallujah had effectively become a no-go zone. Insurgents operated openly. Coalition patrols were ambushed regularly. The city became a symbol, both to insurgents and to coalition forces. Then, in March 2004, 4 American contractors were ambushed, killed, and publicly mutilated. Their bodies were dragged through the streets and hung from a bridge. At that moment, Fallujah stopped being just another city. It became a message. The first battle, a hard lesson. The initial U.S. response was swift. Marines were ordered to retake the city in what became known as the First Battle of Fallujah. But almost immediately, reality set in. Urban combat stripped away America's technological advantages. Air power risked civilian casualties. Armor struggled to maneuver through tight streets. Insurgents blended into the population, using mosques, schools, and homes as fighting positions. Political pressure mounted. Civilian casualties dominated headlines. Within weeks, the offensive was halted. The result was disastrous. Insurgents claimed victory. Fallujah became a fortified stronghold, booby-trapped, tunneled, and prepared for the fight they knew was coming next. And this time, the U.S. military would come back differently. Operation Phantom Fury begins. In November 2004, U.S. and Iraqi forces launched Operation Phantom Fury, the second Battle of Fallujah. This was not a limited raid, it was a full-scale urban assault. More than 10,000 coalition troops advanced block by block, house by house. The city had been largely evacuated, giving commanders greater freedom to use overwhelming force. But that didn't make it easy. Insurgents had months to prepare. Homes were rigged with explosives. Streets were pre-sighted for ambushes. Snipers occupied upper floors. Tunnels allowed fighters to appear, disappear, and strike from unexpected angles. Fallujah wasn't a city anymore. It was a weapon. The nature of urban hell. Urban warfare compresses combat to brutal proximity. Engagements often occurred within rooms, stairwells, and hallways. Marines cleared thousands of buildings, sometimes multiple times. Rules of engagement were strict but adaptable. Units relied heavily on small unit leadership. Fire team leaders and squad leaders made life-or-death decisions in seconds, often cut off from higher command. This battle highlighted something modern militaries often forget. Wars aren't won by technology alone. They're won by disciplined soldiers at the lowest level. Weapons that defined the fight Fallujah became a proving ground for modern infantry weapons. Short-barreled rifles dominated because maneuverability mattered more than range. Optics replaced iron sights as standard. Fragmentation grenades were used constantly to clear rooms and stairwells. Machine guns provided suppressive fire across streets while assault teams advanced. Snipers played a decisive role, both insurgent and coalition, turning rooftops and windows into lethal threats. One of the biggest lessons? Urban combat demands flexibility, not specialization. Units adapted weapons, tactics, and formations in real time. Combined arms in a city. Despite the tight environment, combined arms remained essential. Tanks were used not as spearheads but as mobile, armored fire support. Their main guns demolished fortified positions that infantry couldn't safely assault. Engineers cleared explosives and breached walls. UAVs provided overwatch, identifying enemy movement between buildings. Air power was used surgically, often called in by ground controllers embedded with frontline units. Fallujah showed that combined arms doesn't disappear in cities. It becomes more precise, more coordinated, and more dependent on trust between elements. The psychological war-urban combat isn't just physical, it's psychological. Every door could be trapped. Every room could hide an enemy. Every step forward carried uncertainty. Fatigue became as dangerous as enemy fire. Units rotated frequently to prevent mental collapse. Leadership emphasized discipline, rest cycles, and cohesion. Insurgents relied heavily on fear and unpredictability. Coalition forces countered with relentless pressure, never allowing the enemy time to regroup. Momentum became a weapon, clearing, holding, controlling. Fallujah reinforced a critical counterinsurgency lesson. Clearing a city is only the first step. Holding it requires constant presence. Controlling it requires legitimacy. After the battle, Iraqi forces took over security responsibilities. Infrastructure had to be rebuilt. Trust had to be restored. The battle proved that military victory alone cannot solve political problems. But without military control, political solutions are impossible. Casualties and cost. The Second Battle of Fallujah was devastating. Hundreds of insurgents were killed. Coalition forces suffered significant casualties. Entire neighborhoods were reduced to rubble. But strategically, the insurgent network in Fallujah was shattered. The city was no longer a sanctuary. The cost was high, but the lessons were priceless. How Fallujah changed modern warfare. The impact of Fallujah rippled far beyond Iraq. Urban operations became central to military planning. Training facilities were redesigned to replicate dense cities. Emphasis shifted towards small unit autonomy, cultural awareness, and combined arms coordination. Weapons procurement adapted. Optics, body armor, communications gear, and breaching tools became standard. Doctrine changed. Fallujah became a case study taught in military academies worldwide, not as a perfect victory, but as a brutal reality check. Why it still matters today. Modern conflicts are increasingly urban. Megacities, dense populations, hybrid enemies who blend into civilians and use social media as much as rifles. The next major wars will not be fought in open fields. They will be fought in cities. And Fallujah remains one of the clearest warnings modern militaries have ever received. Technology will not save you. Air power will not solve everything. Only disciplined, adaptable soldiers can win in urban hell. Final thought. Fallujah wasn't just a battle, it was a turning point. It forced the US military and the world to confront the brutal reality of modern urban warfare. And the lessons learned there are still shaping how wars are fought today.